The biggest mistakes immigrants make. You are probably young and successful. You may have finished university, started working in a good company, or started a new business. You have saved some money. During your professional endeavor, you learned that the sky is the limit and that other countries need people like you. Moving might even amplify your success. This is a very tricky way of thinking, as immigration does not work for everybody. We know people, young professionals, who made it in a new country and became very successful. However, we also know people who did not make it. Some of them took their own lives. New immigrants have a few common misconceptions. Let's talk about 5 of them. Misconception number 1. Success is transferable cross-border. You might be thinking, if I am successful in my own country, I will be successful in Canada. This is false. While this might work for some professions, most businesses and professions depend on local ecosystems. You have probably heard about IT nomads. IT skills and experience are transferable from country to country because codes are the same everywhere in the world. The IT sector is unique in that regard. However, most other professions are not that lucky. To work as a pilot, engineer, or doctor requires various certificates specific to each country. It might cost you a significant amount of money and time to start your career in these professions in Canada. Demand is also a factor. A shortage of certain professionals in your country might not be the case in Canada. Even if your profession is easily transferable to the new country, there might be few positions or it might not pay well. For example, graphic design. For many years, graphic design jobs have been outsourced from Canada to less expensive countries. As a result, there are few positions left in Canada, and those are underpaid. What if you are running your own business? Don't assume that if you have a successful business in your country, it will succeed in Canada. Businesses depend on the connections built in school or university and during your professional life. This is something you will have to start building from scratch in Canada, which requires precious time. You might not have the time and your business might not survive. Misconception number 2. If my neighbor succeeded in Canada, I will too. Every person is unique, with different skills, education, experience, and personality. What works for one person might not work for another. If your neighbor succeeded, you might not. If your neighbor did not succeed, you might. Every person thrives under different circumstances. Like plants, some need more sun while others don't. Some need more water while others survive under bone-dry conditions for months. Some plants are sensitive to changes in environment. If you move them to another house, they will die. It is the same with people. Some work well under pressure, some don't. Some can work alone for days, some need company all the time. There are people who do not perform well when they move to another country. They become stressed, anxious, and stuck in repetitiveness, not progressing, being afraid of change, and holding the same job and position for life despite having the advanced skills for a better paid career. Misconception number 3. If I am middle class in my country, I will be middle class in Canada. Your social status in your native country developed for centuries across many generations. Once you move to another country, your status is reset to default. This is the same as if an extraterrestrial creature landed on Earth. Social status has to be earned through the newcomer journey, starting with work, career, social contacts, and, unfortunately, income. Your previous life coded you to expect a certain status in the new society, but it is up to you how you use these predetermined settings. If you do not use your time and money the right way, you might end up very poor. As an immigrant of the first generation, you will have to work much harder than local people because you don't have a safety net or support network in Canada. You need to build all this, pushing the fast-forward button. Your education is not from known Canadian colleges and universities, and you have no friends from childhood who can help you succeed. If you end up on the street, nobody will care. Misconception number 4. If I have a good education and I am ready to work hard, I'll succeed. There are things which we can control and things which are beyond our control. Besides your education, skills, and willingness to work hard, you also bring your personality. Immigration is not for everybody. Some people survive in jail 20 years without developing mental health issues, while others are affected after a few weeks or months. The same applies to immigration. It requires resilience and assertiveness. Immigration is harder for shy and empathetic people. The first few weeks and months after arriving in Canada, you will experience the honeymoon phase. You will see everything through rose-colored glasses and feel very positive. Then you will develop homesickness. You will miss your family and friends and the places you used to visit. You will want to go back to your country. If you resist and stay in Canada, you will start building your life here, like a rocket that has overcome Earth's gravity. So hard work and education aren't enough. You also have to learn how to be assertive and strong. If you lose a job, stand up, find another one and continue. Turn on the autopilot. Test yourself. Maybe you will find strengths that you didn't know you have. If you discover it's too hard for your personality, you can always go back and use your short stay in Canada as a valuable experience for your future. Immigration is like drinking alcohol. Know your limits. Do not continue if it's too hard for you. Misconception number 5. I can take care of my parents and my family long distance and through regular visits. No, you can't. Time flies, and while you are busy in Canada trying to survive, looking for a better career, studying, saving for a house or a condo, your parents continue aging faster than you can imagine. In case of an emergency, they'll need you to be with them in person. Long-distance help is not sufficient. While in Canada, you will realize that your nieces and nephews grow fast without you being around, that your parents age, that people you knew slowly leave this world. Every time you go back to visit your country, take a close look at your family and friends before you leave again. Remember their faces because at your next visit, some of them will not be there anymore. One day, you will realize that your native country is not the one you knew, that it has changed beyond recognition. You will become a foreigner there, barely knowing anyone. Your siblings, who took care of your parents until they died, will become strangers holding grudges against you for not being around when they needed you most. This is the price immigrants pay. It is important to realize the true reality of immigration. Try it if the temptation is too strong to resist, but do it in a reasonable manner. Spend the least money possible. Savings you accumulated for many years might be gone in a few months in Canada. Assess your situation and find out if your goals are realistic. Learn how much time and money you need to get the job or career you like and evaluate whether or not it is an achievable goal. If your goal is realistic, stay and continue working hard and smart. If your goal is not realistic, try to earn back the money you spent and leave while you still can. It is not shameful to move on if it's not for you. It is a sign of strength.